Episode 4 pulled back the curtain on sides of the characters we've never seen before, and Ragatha's true personality kinda stole the spotlight. And with Jax being the circus's official enemy, Gangle's warning about not trusting Ragatha adds a twist that might make the others hesitate to trust her as well. In this video, I'm going to talk about how we saw Ragatha revealing her true side in episode 4, and then I'll also touch on what's next for her in episode 5, which we know is gonna focus on her, so stay with me until the end. I think we all expected Ragatha to show her real side at one point during the series, and what we've seen in episode 4 is probably only the tip of the iceberg. As we know, Ragatha is a huge people pleaser, because we saw in previous episodes how she was taking care of the other characters, especially Pomni, as she is the newest member in the circus. Ragatha was extra caring towards her and always wanted to make sure that Pomni felt okay in her new situation. One of the best examples of that was the end of episode 1, and then the beginning of episode 2 when Pomni left Ragatha behind in the hallway glitching after Kaufmo beat her up. When Ragatha crawled all the way down to the main area in the circus, we could see that Pomni was ashamed of her actions, and Ragatha also seemed hurt that Pomni left her. However, right the following morning, Ragatha went up to Pomni's room and checked on her to see if Pomni was doing alright after episode 1's madness, and she also reassured Pomni that she wasn't mad at her for leaving her behind. And when Gooseworks was asked a while ago on Tumblr, how does Ragatha handle stressful situations, she said, by internalizing. So it was only a matter of time before we'd see her real emotions slipping out, and that's exactly what happened in episode 4 after the secret sauce got into her eye. The sauce made Ragatha more honest than she usually is, because this toxic positivity is only a coping mechanism used by her so she can feel like she's in control of the situation. The first interesting thing she said was this one.
'Cause she'd rather be with an NPC than with us or something.
And I'm thinking that Ragatha might actually like Pomni the best out of all the circus members, and that's why she pointed out that Pomni is rather with an NPC than with them. And peace amongst the circus members is important to Ragatha, and I think that's also why she wants everyone to be happy. But she also said,
I wish someone would flirt with me.
which is also interesting, and I'm thinking that this is probably something related to her self-esteem rather than her actually looking for a relationship. Ragatha seems to be really insecure about herself, and that's why she wants everyone to like her. And she explicitly said it to Jax as well.
I hate you, but I don't want you to hate me. Is that weird?
This was not Ragatha flirting with Jax, but the fact that she cares too much about what the others think of her, and that they think of her positively, even though she doesn't necessarily feel the same. And this leads us to the next point, where Gangle and Pomni were talking outside of the restaurant, and Pomni asked Gangle if she had someone to talk to, and that Ragatha would probably be there for her, to which Gangle said,
I love her, but after a while it gets kinda hard to tell how genuine she's actually being.
And this made me think about this Q&A on Gooseworks' Tumblr, where someone asked her, is Ragatha really nice or faking it? To which she replied, everything is likely more complicated than a simple black or white answer. And this response suggests that Ragatha's personality isn't as straightforward as it might seem. Instead of being purely nice or completely evil, her behavior is likely influenced by more complex emotions, motivations, or even circumstances. So she might genuinely try to be kind, but there could be moments where her actions are driven by self-interest, fear, or even struggles. Essentially, Gooseworks' answer implies that people are rarely one-dimensional, and Ragatha's true nature might lie somewhere in the nuanced middle ground. However, I think that in the upcoming episodes we'll see more of her unfiltered side, where she'll be more honest about her real emotions. If you think back to episode 2, more specifically Pomni's dream, when she was falling down to the cellar, she saw these shadow figures, and Ragatha was also there next to Kane and Jax, and people pointed out how this was evil Ragatha, to which Gooseworks said, people getting attached to this evil side of Ragatha is gonna make episode 5 so much funnier. So it's pretty obvious that episode 5 will feature more of Ragatha's unfiltered side, and I'm wondering how it will be shown, because Gangle and Ragatha clearly have something between them, even though at the beginning of episode 4 we saw how Ragatha was playing with Gangle and being patient with her, and even sticking up for her against Jax, which was pretty nice of her. But Gangle's comment made me think that while they usually get along, their friendship probably can't get deeper than that. Like, Gangle probably feels like she can't be honest with Ragatha about how she's truly feeling or what struggles she has, because Ragatha just acts oblivious in these situations. And maybe it's because of her past. In episode 4, she rambled about horses, tea parties, and dancing lessons, which Gooseworks confirmed as a Raggedy Ann reference. But she also mentioned on her Tumblr a while ago that Ragatha loves horses, so maybe it's actually relevant to Ragatha's past as a human. And these particular topics could could hint at a background of privilege or social obligations, meaning that Ragatha may have come from a wealthy or even aristocratic family. This kind of upbringing could explain why she behaves in a polished or proper manner, possibly shaped by a life of expectations and structured roles before her current circumstances. But what's also interesting is that even if this is true, Ragatha still has a repressed side of her that is more honest and raw. She sticks up for what she really believes in, like how she always tried to get Jax on the right path in the previous episodes. But at the beginning of episode 4, we could hear them arguing, and Gooseworks shared the audio for the whole thing, so let's just listen to it.
If I wanted to hit her, I would have just
hit herself
knocked
in
it
the
in
face
her
with the
face.
ball.
I would have
Can't
hit
you
her
find
and I
another
would have
way
been
to
proud of
amuse
it.
yourself that
I'm just
doesn't
always the
involve
bad
torturing
guy.
people?
So yeah, this was kind of heated, and this is new from Ragatha, but I think Ragatha and Jax will have some issues in the upcoming episodes as well, because Gooseworks already warned us about that. And she also shared an out-of-context line from Jax where he says, "I want you dead." This, along with the other thing Gooseworks said about Jax, where she mentioned that we'll see Jax doing the worst thing with her own eyes, makes me think that maybe he'll actually abstract Ragatha. They were already arguing pretty aggressively in episode 4, and Ragatha seemed pretty fragile ever since episode 1, where she rambled about how their lives are basically pointless in the circus. And now with Gangol's comment about how Ragatha is not sincere, I'm thinking that this means she doesn't have a real safety net in the circus. So if she wavers, she'll have no one on her side, and a comment like this could definitely push her to the edge. And here I want to mention this drawing that Glitch shared after episode 4's release, and it looks like it's Gangol's drawing, where we can see her, Zubul and Pomni, but not Ragatha. So I think it's possible that even though Ragatha believes that her acting nicely with everyone is gonna save her, but in reality what the other circus members want from her is for her to be authentic and open up about her real emotions and struggles. And in return, the other circus members could also talk to her honestly. This is what Gangol valued about Pomni as well when she tried to help her, and the same goes for Zubul. But in episode 5, we'll probably learn a bit more about Ragatha, especially about how she was right after she spawned in, because Kingo already said something interesting about that in episode 2.
I remember how long it took for you to adjust.
So I hope this will be further explored, and maybe that could also explain if Ragatha developed this coping strategy after she joined the circus, or maybe it was something that she did in her whole life as a human as well. But we will see, and hopefully episode 5 comes out in a few months, so we won't have to wait too long for it. And maybe it's also possible that IMDb spoiled what episode 5 could be about, because we can see the summary of its plot. Ragatha takes the stage of a center stadium filled with fans. But honestly, I'm thinking that this is probably fake. However, the stadium being the next adventure's location makes sense, because we already saw that in this trailer video back in February. But we will see. But let me know what you think about Ragatha showing her different side in episode 4 down in the comments. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.